Jessie. Today I have a post review for you. I'm going to try and keep this one short because I really don't have too much to say about this kit, but I wanted to show this anyways. So in this, I'm just going to talk about the kit, what I think of the rendering, the drills, and we're going to take a quick peek at my logbook. So let's jump right on into this one first. I'm just going to set this aside as noisily as possible. So in my logbook, this is Cauldron of Mer by Ivy Dolomore from diamondartclub. I started this one August 4th, finished it on the 13th for number 29 of the year, and it's 181 overall. It's 56 by 74 centimeters, 50 colors, and 4 ABs. Now, I purchased this kit the day it came out back in 2021. I believe it was a Cyber Monday thing. Since then, this kit has been updated on the website. Mine has 50 colors. When I took a look at the newest version, or the one currently offered on the site, it has 47 colors. This one has 4 ABs, that newer one has 3. So I don't know what has changed since this one and the last one, outside of they removed the green AB. I don't know what else has changed. I'm really curious to know, so if anybody does know, please let me know. I'm curious what else would have changed in this rendering since then. But anyways, that is kind of where we're sitting. I'm going to talk about those thoughts in just a second. But I will say, there's that original artwork. I love this little cat. So, will this stay open for me? No. Alright, so our diamonds here. I will zoom in just a touch. As you can see, plenty of leftovers, so no worry of running out. There was a higher amount of trash in this kit. I will say it was an older one back when diamondartclub was moving from 9 and 13 facets being mixed in their drills to just 13, I believe. So there was a higher amount of trash, but not as bad as it could have been. I have worked on some kits pre-2021, before these changes, and yeah, there was a lot more trash than this, so not bad. Again, it's in a lot of these like darker colors, the black, the browns, which is usually as expected, but it still worked up really nicely. Colors were very bright and vibrant. Our ABs here, we had this bright white 141, that green 134, a light purple 126. This is lower than I thought it would have been, and 113, that bright pink. So yeah, those are specials. Drills were nice, symbols weren't confusing. I think that's all I had to comment on that. There was some really nice like shades of pink and purple in this. I really love these sort of transitions in there. So pretty. Okay, I think that's all I had to say about the drills. Let's move on. So here is our kit. You'll have to excuse me for the glare. It is very cloudy and rainy. If I turn this off, it actually is just dark. I should have removed some of the glare. But anyways, there we go. There's our cat in our book. So yeah, as I was saying, this was their 13 facets. I don't believe, like, don't quote me on any of this. This does have the 13 facets, but I don't think they quite tightened up the drill field yet. Just going by the numbers that I have written down, a lot of the newer ones that have that tightened drill field have like 74.6 or whatever, 0.8, whatever, doesn't matter. So I think this is still the old grill, but newer-ish diamonds. But anyways, I thought this rendering looks really good. Our cat is nicely done. I really like how her hair and face turned out, especially the tones used in her skin. I think they looked really good. The pink is just like a touch too stark, but I mean, it's highlighting, so it makes sense. Yeah, a lot of the details in the background came through really well. There is like the one thing I'm noticing now. There's like these little butterfly sparkles in the background. These two get a little lost in translation, but that one still kind of comes through. So maybe just the shape of them needed a little more work. Maybe that changed in the newer edition. I don't know. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So that bright... Did I say that was a bright white? Yes. The white is actually all the little sparkles on the dust motes. The water in here, the purple in the water, so like all of that is that AB. The pink is in her hair, also some of the water there, along her cat's paw here, highlighting the bottle up here. And it's hard to see how I have the kit position, but it's also highlighting in her tail. And then that green is just in this plant over here and in those two up there. So that's our special placement. I think it's really well done. One thing I'm super curious about, if this had been released in current times, would some of these purples in the water have been fairy dust? It was something I thought about changing when I got like halfway through the water. I'm like, oh well, it's a little late now, because you have these giant patches of like my elbow, like giant patches of these super sparkly AB, and then you just get to purple, which is nothing really special to it. So I'm like, maybe I should have done that as a fairy dust to kind of smooth out that transition in here. I don't know. It's just something I thought about now. I can't tell if that's thunder or just someone playing with a fancy car. It's supposed to rain today. We'll see. Sorry, got distracted. But yeah, I thought this was really nice. Tons of color blocking. Lots of 310, but again, those weren't too bad. Another thing, oh, I remember now that I look at my things. I know that this is accurate to the original artwork, which is always the goal for diamondartclub, but I wish these leaves were green instead of gray. But again, like, it's kind of like the smoky bottom of the canvas here, which, I mean, I guess the bath that she is having is very warm, but that kind of doesn't happen over here. Like, you don't see that gray transition in her tail. It is just in the leaves over here. So I kind of wish that those were green, and it is something that I would have changed on my own had I had enough colors. I did not, and I don't keep my spares at this point, so I couldn't go in and change it that way. But yeah, I think that's all I had to say. Oh, one more thought was the black outlining within her is just a touch inconsistent, and I kind of get why, because like you have her entire tail outlined here, like throughout the bottom. It is outlined along the edge of the canvas. Her tail is completely outlined, but then you get to like the part where she's coming out of the water. There is no black outlining there. Same thing here, and the same thing with her hands. Yeah, and that's just kind of thing, like tons of black outlining, but it just, and even along her sleeve here. I get that it's a darker brown because it's her skin tone, but I'm like, I kind of wish the outlining was consistent, because it's, yeah, it's like the whole cauldron and everything, that's all outlined. Well, it kind of disappears here and here. But yeah, that was my other thought. Other than that, I really enjoyed working on this one. I know it's really hard to see. I loved all the details up in this top corner. I really loved how her hair and face came out, and even though I do wish there was more specials in here, this was really fun to work on, like the whole cauldron bubbly water part of this. So anyways, let me know your thoughts down below, and again, if you know what has changed between this version and the newest one, let me know. I am very curious. Okay, I'm gonna leave this one here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.